Bu Abi. With a gaze of submission and humiliation, she looked at the statue of Ishtar, feeling its coldness with her trembling fingertips. She pleaded, "Oh, son of the world, have mercy on my poverty and weakness, and spare my little daughter." She looked into the statue's lifeless eyes, begging for mercy from the deaf stone. She went and knelt before the high priest. Bowing her head respectfully, she kissed his hand in submission. He raised his hand and stroked her head. He looked at the girl beside her, raised his eyebrows, and his eyes sparkled with desire at her fresh beauty. He asked, "Your daughter has reached 14 years of age." The woman stammered, "She has, but I." He looked at her harshly, his eyes filled with blood vessels. "There is no will here except for Ishtar. Your daughter will embody Ishtar. Give her to the temple priestesses." The woman gathered her veil and silently sighed. She grasped her daughter's wrist and walked with her in pain towards the heart of the temple. The little girl, Shubua, stared with wide eyes and lowered her gaze shyly when the priestess ran her delicate hand over her breast, bathing her to prepare her for the night's ritual. With her were many other girls, but she was the most beautiful, with wide almond-shaped eyes and breasts that resembled ripe pomegranate fruits. They combed her dark black hair and dressed her in a loose white robe that slid over her soft body, wrapping her in softness. The priestess tied the robe at the girl's shoulder and sprinkled her with fragrant perfumes. She became a goddess of beauty, worthy of adoration. The priestess bowed to her in respect. She and 40 other girls stood at the pillars of the temple of Uruk, waiting for the arrival of the god Tammuz from the heavens, the god of fertility and harvest among the people of Sumer. The temple was filled with the prayers of the priests, and men from all walks of life, nobles and wealthy Sumerians, poured in. Each girl stood with her eyes lowered, holding the end of her robe that the stormy wind blew. Shubua stood, frightened, not knowing what would happen to her or what Anu had in store for her in his heavenly tablets. She glanced forward to find a man devouring her with lustful glances. He wore Tammuz's distinctive robe, and a patterned sash was draped over his right shoulder and wrapped around his waist, revealing the strong muscles of his powerful body. The temple was ablaze with the sounds of the worshippers, and the trumpets began to blare. She was violently pulled by that powerful man, and he fell to the ground. No one heard her whimpers or screams. Her heart was about to burst from the screams and sounds. Her ears went numb as he tore her apart with unjustified violence, except that she was destined to die inevitably. That's what the beautiful woman had told her in her dream. "You will be me, O Bu Abi. Your name will be immortalized as the strong Shubua." She awoke to find herself lying on the ground, warm blood soaking the ground around her. She gathered her robe, gathered her remaining strength, and moved towards the noise. She penetrated the crowd and sat at the feet of Ishtar. She pulled the lute towards her, threw her frail body onto it, and began to play. The festival ended with everyone hearing her sweet music. Her strength waned, she closed her eyes, and surrendered to death, only to find a strong hand supporting her. It was him. She asked, "Who are you?" "I am Abarki, king of Sumer, and you, with your wide eyes, what is your name?" She replied weakly, "I am Bu Abi." "No, you are Shubua, for those golden eyes can only belong to a shining sun. You will be my queen forever." She smiled shyly, and the temple erupted in a new celebration, the king's wedding.